the extension of powers
Mm.
that are being brought in. Now, I was obviously, if I've had a conversation with Richie, we've spoke about this, and it's part of, in Richie's opinion, part of the plan. Part of the plan.
Yeah, I get that. I get
We'll,
that.
we'll, we'll talk to Richie properly about that when we get him on the show. But originally, the government asked for 2 years. Sorry, didn't
Mm.
ask, proposed that they would have these
Yeah,
powers
yeah.
for 2 years. And everyone said, oh, that's just their way of keeping them forever. Well, and now it's going to be reviewed after 6 months.
Mm.
And yes, the question is, will they ever relinquish these powers? The answer, of course, is most likely not. Like the Patriot Act was never really repealed. In the US, the government can still go in your house without your knowledge, do whatever they want in there, and leave.
Mm.
That is a fact. It's not conjecture; it's an absolute fact. People say, well, they wouldn't do that anyway. I say Baltimore,
Well,
because they did it.
I think what will happen is the Patriot Act is a good example because obviously there's been challenges to that for years, and all the stuff came out with the spying across borders and all that stuff. But a lot of it did get removed, but it's like dropping oil on a canvas.
Yeah.
You can scrape it off, but there's stuff still there. And I think the actual bill will be gone, but I do think you're likely right in that there will be lingering things that are not good. But unfortunately, the public just kind of get on people because people don't care. They've only got so much space in their head to give a shit, aren't they? And you've got some like internet weirdos ranting about freedom. They're like, oh, whatever.
Well, there is
Um,
one thing. There is one
mm,
thing that I don't see many people mention. Why specifically 2 years? Everything else is 3 months and 6 months in this crisis.
yeah, it was a big one,
Why?
wasn't it?
Why is that for 2 years? Now, I can't
Mm,
shake the feeling there's something we're not being told about this whole thing. I don't know why. I'm not usually given to being terribly conspiratorial, but there's something we're not being told. And when a government asks for 2 years, when everything else is 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months tops, it's bothering me, Graham. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's playing on my mind a little bit.
Do you think there's any kind of preparations for warlike activity or anything like that?
I honestly, I
Because
don't
things,
even want to guess.
because these are the sort of events that can lead down the road to certain things, aren't they? People's tempers are up, and they're very, very, very nationalistic on the sort of dangerous side of it. I agree with you, though. I agree with you. I think the 2 years thing was, um, I, I, I think with the Conservatives, a lot of it is sort of just incompetence. But then there is obviously other things going on underneath. Of
Hmm.
course there are, but I've no idea what, and I've no idea why. Hopefully it'll become clear in time.
I find it.
Um,
I say it's just that little thing. I'm not even going. I'm not even conjecture at this point. But it is that
mm.
one thing that just stuck out to me. Like, why is it 2 years? Why 2 years? It's a strange period of time for a government to choose.
Yeah,
You know.
you can enact these kind of emergency powers for in America's case, some of them have been 60 days as a maximum.
Hmm.
Like 60 days is like a jaw dropping amount of time, to have this level of government oversight. Um, so yeah, 2 years. It is a long time. It is a long
Yeah, and
time, and I
it's
don't know
really that's
why.
been bothering me since I heard about it. I've just forgotten to talk about it
Yeah,
on
yeah. No, you're
here,
right. You're
and
right.
it's just every time I think about it, it's like it's if you got a hole in your tooth, your tongue won't stay away from it.
Mm.
If you've had a tooth out, your tongue won't stay away from it. It's a bit like just I can't leave it alone. Why that period of time? Maybe that's how long they think we're going to be dealing with this for. But I still can't
Well,
shake the feeling. There's
yeah.
something we don't know. There's something we've not been told.
Yeah, I mean, the original thing when this was sort of happening in other countries, and it was, it was going to arrive here, but it was something on the horizon, and people just didn't really give a fuck. They were saying it's an 18-month thing. You know, it's
Mm.
it's it's a year and a half. You know, in terms of the three waves you're going to get, then the eventual vaccinations, and then the slow recovery in that. I know, and it could very well be that. You know, they've taken this 18-month thing and gone, right, well, yeah, 2 years. You know what I mean? They just
They
but
won't
it does
talk
seem
about
like a
it to the
lot.
public.
Yeah, well, they've stopped saying that now. They've stopped saying that it's gonna be over a year, 'cause I just think they want people to be as calm as possible.
Well,
Because
that's why
we
Boris said, I'm
are.
going to review this in 3 weeks, the lockdown. And people honestly believe
Yeah.
in 3 weeks. But also, have you noticed the narrative change again now? A lot more scientists have come forward and people are pushing it as it did come from an animal.
Mm.
You know, they're pushing it as that. Whereas for quite a while it went towards that lab.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now it's been
I
pushed
mean,
aside.
I saw a really good guy on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's he got a guy like a world leader in this on, and I can't even remember his name now. But if you Google, you'll find the relevant thing, and you know, he obviously knows a hell of a lot more than almost anyone on the planet on this stuff, and he was saying that those wet markets are so disgusting. You've got every species you could ever imagine piled up on top of each other. It's like the likelihood of it not coming from there in some way or another is very, very low, and I've just taken his word for that. Just because the conditions are so poor, like astonishingly bad. I remember when I was over there, man. I used to walk through them like, this is amazing. It felt
Mm.
like a ride at the at the theme park, because it was just beyond what I could even. They call it a wet market for a reason. It's just shit like alive and tied, and
Yeah.
nobody's washing their hands. Everyone's just doof doof doof, and it it's like it's an experiment
Are
in
they the sort
itself,
of
having one
places
of
where I
those
saw
places.
those dogs cooked alive, are they?
Oh, I never saw dogs cooked alive. No, no, no.
I
But I
wish I
wasn't
hadn't
in
clicked.
China. I was.
Well, actually, I didn't even click on the fucking video. It just greeted me on
Yeah.
Twitter. And,
I wasn't in mainland China. I was in sort of Malaysia, Thailand, and all
right.
that. And I don't know if dogs are a thing there. I mean, it could have been, but I
They
didn't
cook
see
them
it.
alive, Graham.
Um,
They barbecue them alive.
yeah,
They
whilst they're
boil.
yapping.
One ran away. They were boiling it. Got out the water. They
Mm,
pulling its hair out, and it ran away. And they went, "Oh, that one escaped." On the feed. I'm like, no, it fucking didn't. That dog's dead. What now?
yeah.
People tell me, well, it's cultural. They eat dog like you eat pig. Do you know what? I like to think that the bacon I buy wasn't pushed onto a fucking barbecue while it was alive. The
Yeah.
Chinese, it erodes sympathies, and it makes me sound I guess racist to the fucking Nimrods. But you know what? Every time I see that, a bit more of my empathy is eroded. And
Mm,
whilst I know there are probably millions upon millions of Chinese people that would never contemplate this, I'm slowly stopping fucking caring and thinking we should just wall that whole fucking thing off. It's a very big place, so it'll take a while. And just leave them to it. Just fucking leave them to it. They'll seem to eat fucking anything. They'll eat anything. It's
yeah. Oh,
fucking.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not normal.
Well,
It's not
if you
fucking
live,
healthy.
they've got a fucking communist government, haven't they? Of course they eat for everything. They've lived
Yeah, but
through
if you can
fighting off
afford pork,
mass starvation.
if you can afford pork and afford a barbecue, you don't have to eat things fucking alive. I mean, come on, you
Yeah,
see
but
all the
it's just.
videos coming out there. I mean, Japanese are fuckers for it sometimes, but from China eating live frogs. Why?
Mm.
It can't even be nice. It can't be nice. I can only imagine it
I
tastes
tell
like shit.
I tell you what though, man. I'm not like in terms of like the lab. I mean, it could have been a combination of the two things. It could have been a guy working at the lab going to the wet market. I don't
Mm.
know, but ultimately, I'm not. I'm not. I've not been concerning my thoughts and my research with that too much, because we'll never know. Like I know that anything I'm reading out of China is a fucking lie. So it's like it's one of them with like. Yeah, I don't want to work off false information, and there's no way to believe. It's like it's unreliable narrator, isn't it? It's like the Joker telling you how
Mm.
things are going in your life. Um, there's just no way of knowing, but we know it did come from China. We know it did, 100%. All this bullshit about like, oh, it was American army and all that. No, it didn't. You're not ex, you're not throwing journalists out of your country because you're innocent. You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. And go fuck anyone that's spending their time on social media repeating Chinese government talking points. Go
Yeah,
fuck yourself.
it's
You
just
know, you've got, oh,
ridiculous. It's a fucking
th- th-
joke.
for the sake of not wanting to appear racist. Oh, you fucking idiots. Have you never met a Chinese person? They're the most racist people on earth. You don't give a fuck. And good luck to them. I don't care. You know, but to just treat all minorities like these timid little brave but set upon flowers, like fucking, they must be protected from the white patriarch. Oh, fuck yourself. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like I said to that cunt on Twitter the other day that was defending him, like, say, stop worrying about what the rest of the world thinks about you and start overthrowing your own fucking government. You have been invaded for 70 years by a communist dictatorship. So why don't you fucking start pointing fingers that way? Um Assholes. I don't
Fuck
know.
'em.
I don't
Fuck
know.
'em, Graham. Maybe a proper plague will come around one day and wipe the fuckers out. Especially,
Yeah.
the ones that eat fucking animals alive. If there was some kind of fucking